with some books. Daco, you are no longer a giant slug or caterpillar. Giant caterpillar. And Zashi and Whistler, you were free. Whistler, you have the very strange sensation of having two distinct sets of memories in relation to the creature known as the Swarm. And everybody else has no idea what I'm talking about. And then, yeah, that's about where we left off. What would you guys like to do?
Well, I'm not sure if we were talking about heading back to New Malys to drop our books off or anything, or if we wanted to explore one of the locations on the map that some passing merchant had kindly pointed out.
Yeah, it was really weird the fact that you ran into a merchant in the sewers.
Yeah, very odd. I am up for either. I'm up for heading back. Zashi's fine dropping books off and swinging by and seeing Foxglove and seeing if any of the books that she found would interest him. Other than that, she's also totally on board with like checking out some of the time dragons that I believe were marked on the map because Whistler had specifically asked about them.
To be clear, psychic dragons. Not all of them have time powers.
Psychic dragons.
There was nowhere left unsearched in the library, right?
I mean, you still have the pile of books that Caterpillar Daco was trying to eat.
Yeah, and Whistler is already loading them back, recasting the tensors, and then loading them back. So we got a big pile of books following us.
Okay.
I think we might need to set up a room in the temple that's just a library of the books we find.
They'll need a better guardian.
Whistler laughs a little bit when you say that.
Okay.
Not the need a guardian, the whole setting up the library.
Well, I think it would be cool. Then, like, all of us could like enjoy the books at our leisure instead of having to go through the sewers again.
Whistler, is there something funny about reading?
I think it has to do with the fact you think he's going to share.
He looks at Daco and puts his arms towards the book, like, sure.
I've had my fill, thank you.
Yeah, Zashi laughs at that one.
Yeah, to be clear, Daco, you do remember being a caterpillar. Like, it's not...
That's why I'm like, I remember eating. I'm saying I've had my fill of eating books.
Yeah, so I think maybe we should head back to at least make sure the books are safe.
Whistler nods in agreement very enthusiastically.
Okay, so you guys are headed through the sewer?
Yep.
Sure.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll find the kobolds that ran off with my mount.
Who's taking lead? So to be clear, the cart that originally took you through the sewer is no longer there. Mm-hmm. There is a rail, but who is taking the lead? And I needed them to make a survival check with advantage because I'm assuming you guys are following the rail.
Bill will take it if Brutus doesn't.
Okay, I was gonna say I can too if you want. I've got Tremor Sense and Dark Vision.
Yep. I'll take
can
up
only
the
give you
rear
advantage
to
once,
protect our backs.
So Bill, I guess, make a survival roll.
Oh boy.
This is why we can't have nice things.
That's not.
Wow. Okay. So Bill, like, your memories were a little fuzzy of what was going on, and despite the fact that you're following a rail system, like there are turns here, like switch junctions, and you're starting to get a little lost. It's not horrible, but I do need. What is the highest passive perception of all of you guys? What are you guys?
-10.
12.
12 as well for Bill.
11.
Daco, you have advantage though, so yours is with hearing checks, right? Because you're an elf.
I am a half elf.
Oh, so
This
you
is
don't
passive what?
passive perception.
Oh yeah, 15.
Oh, then Whistler, you actually, and Daco actually, because of your tremor sense, would feel it. Something large is in one of the tunnels beside you.
Something.
Something large.
Doc, was that your stomach?
I'm fairly certain it's something much larger than my stomach. And it's coming from that way. And Daco, like,
It would be to your right.
directions, the direction that he senses the motion from.
I'm gonna put my ear right up next to the wall. I'm trying to figure out if it sounds like actually something large or a crap load of small things.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Sashi is just staring at you guys awkwardly because she doesn't understand what's going on.
Can I aid Whistler?
Sure.
Okay.
So you
Bill
have
hands
advantage
Whistler
on
a cup. Bill hands Whistler a cup.
Okay. He uses that cup.
Okay, so 23. It sounds like this is weird. It sounds like one very large thing with multiple with a bunch of limbs, but it sounds like it's scraping. It's not like feet on the ground. It's like something grabbing into stone and pulling its large worm-like mass along the tunnel.
So more of a
Okay.
drag.
So I make a silent image, not a silent image, a minor image, the cantrip
Mm-hmm.
of a worm with octopus tentacles.
I really want to see this now, Whistler.
Whistler,
So
if you're hungry, we
as soon as she whispers that, Daco like throws two hands forward like this and like just bends like a small little hole about this big in the wall for her to see through.
Okay. So you do that. Trying to think that it's 5 feet, right?
I could do up to 5 feet. I was just doing like a peek
Yeah,
hole.
I'm trying to. I'm assuming. So yeah, you could do that. So you see a undulating, grayish purple mass with little like bone spurs coming out, dragging itself along the tunnel.
Does it look similar to the not spice worm,
The undead worm you encountered before, very similar, only not undead. It
Hey,
looks
it's the live
alive.
one of the dust worms. It's a live one.
I dismiss the image and then remake the image right.
Okay.
good job, Whistler. That's more accurate. Thank you. Now I know what it looks like.
Then I hand you back your cup.
So if we keep going in this direction, will we run up to it? Do you guys know? Will we run up the map?
From what you guys remember, you probably wouldn't. Not unless like in about a mile, these two tunnels would converge. But it's kind of because you're traveling through both the sewer system and the subway at the same time. It's kind of a maze-like mess. So, but yeah, it would probably eventually converge, but it wouldn't be for at least a mile.
Okay,
And this thing doesn't seem to have doesn't seem to be aware of you guys yet. Although the stone shifting, it did kind of hesitate a little bit when Daco made the little porthole.
So now that I see that Daco can actually bend these walls, I'm going to be trying to ask Daco, why can't we do this to make a shortcut or make it easier for us to get to and fro?
I mean, if you had a map and we knew where the shortcuts were, sure.
Wouldn't it be kind of time consuming?
Yep.
But it would be easier on the way coming back because that way we can get more books sooner. We can even make it work towards ours, and we can, the different map.
So
we
the
can
areas I can do this to aren't
I-
huge.
I will create a small image of the original hole into the bank with the not the bank into the library with the force field.
Oh, because there was a force field over that, and we came up from the bottom.
So if we screw up, we're going to get splat like.
Well, the
Basically
force field's
drown
keeping the water out. Yeah, the force field's keeping the water out.
Mhm.
We can only get in where there's that gap, I guess, in the force field. So sure, given enough time, I could make shortcuts in theory. If we
I
have
will
better
say
maps
each
to
time
see
you
what's going
cut
on.
a hole, so the hole you made is narrow enough because it was just a window that structurally, Daco, you do know that there is a small percentage each time you cut a hole that you're going to destabilize the cavern system.
In that same sense, would he be also able to know where he needs to put load-bearing supports to counteract that?
No, I would allow an investigation check each time he did it. That's not a problem. It's just, and like the DC, mechanically the DC won't change, the percentage number won't change, but like eventually you do that enough, and just statistically you're gonna fail.
Well, if we keep bringing material in here to make more structures, like so, say we bring whatever amount of dirt he needs or whatever materials he needs to make new load-bearing stuff each time.
Oh yeah, if you actually spend the time to reinforce and do what you need to do, of course you could easily make a mine shaft out of this stuff. But
Just want to make sure it's an option.
So I don't have like high survival, so like I wouldn't be leading people, but I am gonna start and I'm gonna try to think and concentrate and see if I've actually got 2 memories of the tunnel system.
okay, give me a intelligence check. I don't think there's a memory skill here, so give me an intelligence check.
Zashi's going to whisper, Storm, would you kind of know where we're going? You seem to be pretty good in like old city areas.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, not really. Not that you're aware, anyways.
Would I know where I was?
Mm-hmm. Zashi's whispering to Storm, asking if you kind of have an idea where we are, because you seem to be.
Yeah,
Kind
because
of
of my
barrier.
urgent stat, which gives me quicker travel through cities.
I will say Brutus seems completely confused by, like, Shane is not here, but Brutus looks completely confused as to why you guys are lost.
Oh, that's right. Minotaurs can't get lost in mazes.
Also, I have the Wanderer feat, if that matters. I have excellent memory for maps and geography. You can always recall the general layout of terrain, settlements, and other features around you. In addition, you can find food and fresh water for yourself and up to 5 other people each day, providing them land, offers various small game, water, and so forth.
Okay. Yeah, so I would say, like, honestly, Billy, the survival check TC for you is really low. It's just you rolled really low. But yeah, generally speaking, for you, the check for this is like 5. You just managed to roll a 4 with advantage, so it's just kind of sorry.
Sure.
But like honestly, again, mechanically, this is your encounter right now for rolling that low. So it's up to you guys whether or not you want to engage with this thing or not.
Are we having this conversation right next to the hole?
You guys didn't say you moved, so yeah.
I'm gonna. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so you said that it kind of reacted to us opening the window.
Mm.
Did we hear it definitely stop? and
It
then move on?
slowed. It didn't so much stop. It definitely slowed. And as you guys are talking more, you do notice it's beginning to like stop. But it's so big. It has so much mass, and it was moving at a fairly quick speed that you get the sense like it can't just stop on a dime.
Right, but we know if we stop here long enough that it could go to the mile spot and come back towards us, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then, did we want to try to make haste then, so we have more options to get out? And I try to explain them, show them on the map, kind of thing, on where we are in correlation to them. We have roughly a mile before we actually have to engage in this creature, or do we want to do something different? Because it could probably hear us. And then we point to the window.
By all means, continue forward. I mean, we don't have a particular reason to fight these worms. They're, from what I understand, doing a job, though a lot of people in the wastes kind of hate the job they're doing.
And what job is that?
From what I understand, there was a druid that brought them here to help with the dust, to make pockets of.
So
livable-
Dako would know that. Zashi, I'm not sure would know that.
Okay.
Did you see Dako's voice when
Yeah.
he said?
Yeah, that was
I-
Dako's voice.
I will make an image of just a little wall with a big old hole eaten out of it.
They eat holes in walls?
Very much so.
Can I do an intelligence check to see if Zashi knows what I was talking about?
Sure. Give me a history check.
Probably not.
No.
So that information I just said, Dako, would you have shared that with everyone?
Sure. Dako's player didn't remember that, but Dako would love to share things like that.
Bill.
Yeah, so I was just going to say, Dako, since you know so much about these wonderful creatures, what do they eat? Are we worried about our lives or being endangered if they come in the same corridor?
Dako, you know they eat just about everything. Especially, they really like to eat creatures with high magic, like a high amount of internal magic.
Dako says anything that crosses its path is pretty much fair game. And if you smell like, I don't know, and he kind of like gestures to Whistler.
And your own tattoos.
Yeah,
I know
I'm just going to believe that on Whistler.
Yeah.
The only question is, though,
Zashi
do
has
they,
the same tattoos as
Mm-hmm.
Dako does.
do they eat books? Because I'm more worried about the books. Because we can run, the books can't run.
If the books are emanating power, like if they're more than just knowledge, yeah.
I'm just saying we can use them as bait then.
I mean,
You want to
if
grab
we're
some?
gonna
So
let
I'm
you
not saying
use
the ones
this
we have, some
for
extra ones that
bait.
we found in there. There's a lot of stuff that's magic. We can grab one, we can toss it. It can be sated possibly for a little bit.
I say we just continue moving forward.
So Bill says, "What do you say, boss?" As he looks towards Storm.
Just going to be like pointing towards forward. I'm just like, let's keep heading now.
That way to the lake.
Bill will continue. I say, "Do we, Dako? Do you think we need to worry about the window here? Because I know you know more about buildings and structures and stuff. Is that okay to leave it there?"
Yeah, should be fine. It's small.
Okay.
That means making much bigger holes than I am.
So, clarification: are you going quick or are you trying to be quiet?
Well, so that would really be depending on Dako, I guess. Bill would be asking Dako, does it go by sound? Does it go by scent? Should we move faster? And just pretty much get the information from him to figure out how.
My
we should
guess is if I know it's here, it knows I'm here.
Yeah, it has tremor sense. It goes by sound primarily. No one's quite sure how it hunts magic. It seems to have some type of natural detection towards it.
So, Dako, do you have some kind of like a thumper from Dune? So it's the pretty much thing from Dune. It's pretty much sci-fi related, but it goes boom, boom. It gets the worms to come towards it.
No.
Can you do something like that so he does it in a distance, so that we can go after that instead of us?
No.
I I look at Daco, I point to the window, and then I point to my eyes. I'm like,
You need a boost.
then I make the same image of the creature, this time with big googly eyes.
Oh, you can it look through the hole and see us? Probably doesn't have to.
They don't have eyes, Daco. You know they don't have eyes.
Yeah, it doesn't have eyes.
Suddenly, I feel a lot better. I use my ring and I start flying.
Okay, so you won't have to make any kind of check there, Whistler. So again, are you guys going to be moving quickly, or are you guys moving stealthily, or are you going to try to do both?
Well, like I said, depending on what Daco says. If Daco says it sees us without seeing us, then we want to make it a little as less movement as we need to. If we need to go quicker, but that might attract it more, you pretty much go by ear for that.
You know, hopefully it smells something better than us and we can just keep going. If it decides it's coming for us, it's going to come for us.
I'm going to take off pretty quickly because that should get me in the books at least out of the way.
Okay.
Or at least the books out of the way.
Yeah. Okay. So Whistler is taking off. I'm not gonna. Your speed exceeds it, so with your fly speed, so that's not a problem.
I'm going to start following
It's
Whistler,
burrow
but
speed
I'm
anyway.
going to try to be quiet.
Okay. I need a stealth roll from Sashi.
Nope. I'm going to be bait.
I'm trying to be stealthy,
Okay.
and I am.
You're pretty stealthy there, Storm.
Yeah, Bill's not trying to be stealthy. He's just going to follow Storm.
Okay.
Yep, Daco's just moving along. He's fatalist on this one. He's like, it's either
Okay.
going to find us or it's not.
You want us to roll for Brutus?
Yeah. Brutus has to roll with disadvantage because he's in heavy armor. So
You know what, Dex?
I do not. Let me see if the character sheet is up there. It should be. Give me a second. Just give me a d20. I'll tell you what's going on.
So did one at 12 and then one at 5.
Okay. Yeah, that's a failure. Okay, so as you guys are moving along about half a mile down, you suddenly hear a large thumping next to on the wall beside you as the worm suddenly takes a 90-degree, and once it's big enough, once it gets to an area on its side that's large enough to do so, and it breaks through the wall. Can I get everybody to roll me initiative checks? Because Whistler, you would actually be on the other side of the worm because you're moving significantly quicker than them.
So I passed it and it hit through behind me.
Yeah.
Between me and them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Daco's
I will be
horrible.
clear. It's basically like a 10-foot corridor. The worm's entire body is actually like overtaking this. You can see its head. It's pointed towards the group. Whistler, you're seeing the backside of its head.
You know who always had great initiative? Rindle. You know who's got horrible initiative? Daco.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
amazing.
it ended for Rendell, though. Everyone's got to pay a price.
It helps if I can spell the word purple. Okay. So
You just have to say it. You don't have to spell it.
I do in order to bring up its character sheet. Okay. So everybody rolls. So I think it's Storm is first.
Oh man.
You could do it, boss.
It's never the person that wants to be first that gets
I
to go.
know. Like I saw my roll. I'm like, damn it! The one time I don't really want to go first.
Hold action. Woohoo!
Ugh. I don't know what this thing can do. So I'm just going to have to start casting spells to see what it does because I don't know. I'm just going to cast Dissonant Whispers on it.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know if it can hear or not, or
It can definitely hear.
okay.
Okay. Yeah, it succeeds.
All right, then it takes half.
He would have dissonant whispered right into me.
Maybe it would have gone right back through the way it came, though.
I think he goes from you.
Yeah, he goes directly from him.
Well, that doesn't bother me.
So damage because he still takes half, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm going to slowly back up. If I'm in the front, I don't want to be in the front. I don't want...
Okay. Well, I think so. I'm pretty sure Brutus is actually in front because just Brutus actually knows where they're going. That's what I'm gonna go with. But with Zashi probably right besides Brutus because that's your usual thing. Okay. And then that would bring us to who had the 13? Or did somebody have higher than 13? Bill.
13.
Okay.
So I don't know how much room. Do we have enough room to try to move to the side of it to try to flank it or get close to being able to flank it?
You're gonna its head is pretty massive and it's basically taking up the entire area. I would say that you'd have to squeeze so it would get a attack of opportunity on you.
That would be fine if everyone else can be flanking it once I move.
Okay. So you're going to go ahead and try to flank it?
Yes.
Okay. So it is going to go ahead and try to bite you as you move. $17 to hit?
Doesn't hit. 19.
Okay. You're able to quickly get onto the other, like, when it goes to bite you is actually when you're able to squeeze past it and you can get to the other side.
Okay, and I move over to it, and then I'm going to try to get his attention, hitting the wall with my hand axe before I attack it.
Okay. You get its attention. Go ahead and give me an attack. Yeah, easily. It's a big worm thing. It kind of it makes it. It's actually deeper than that. It's a very deep guttural sound as you slash into it.
Yeah, then I'll just yell, "For the clan!"
Okay. Go ahead and give me an intimidation check, too. Okay. It looks like you have its attention.
I'll pretty much look towards Brutus, like, haha, and then I'll press turn.
Let's see. Who's next? Becca, what did you roll?
7.
And Dako, what did you roll?
I'm pretty sure it was a 9.
Okay.
Nope, 8.
Okay, so the worm is next. So the worm will go ahead and use its attack to try to go after Bill again. And can't roll for shit, so misses. So that would bring us then to... Would you say you rolled, Zashi?
7.
Okay, so Dako.
Okay. Well, because that's what Dako does, even when he's shouldn't. He's gonna run forward and try and, ninjutsu earthbend this thing. So unarmed strike and an elemental strike.
Yeah, okay.
Doesn't it click? There we go. So the unarmed strike is a 17 to attack. The elemental strike's only an 8.
Yeah, 17 hits. The 8 just kind of bounces off of its
Okay.
tough
So
hide.
3 bludgeoning damage.
Okay. Yeah, it feels a little weird. Like you almost you. It has chitinous armor. Like you almost expect it to like be resistant towards you, but it does have a little bit of a mush into there. So like there is like a give as you punch into this thing's skin.
Gotcha.
And then we bring to Zashi.
All right. So Zachi, pulling out a rapier and actually pointing at the worm, is going to yell out, uh, "Submit!" And I'm actually going to do Channel Divinity Conquering Presence. I need it to make a Wisdom saving throw, as emanating from me is what looks like a Medusa with giant back wings.
I'm pretty sure a 10 fails.
That fails. So they are frightened for 1 minute.
Okay.
They can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns. But yeah, let's see what it says. So my force of presence kind of like washes over them, and the worm is absolutely frightened right now.
Right. But I want you so read frightened condition for me, please.
All right, give me a second. It's ta-da. No. Conditions frightened. Frightened creature has disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of its fear is within line of sight. Oh.
Although, wait, it doesn't say if it can see it. It says while it's in line of sight.
Correct. So that's
Which is-
going to be a.
Yeah, actually, Tucker, you're correct because it can perceive it. That is a D&D thing. I actually thought it said while it could see it.
Yeah,
No.
I know what you were going for, but yeah, it's like a spell.
Yeah,
It's just line of sight, not.
not that it can actually see it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Sometimes it's the things you can't see that scare you the most.
Okay, so we'll try that as long as you can perceive it. Okay, so it is frightened of you.
Yep. It has the condition frightened.
Okay.
I'm surprised purple worms aren't immune.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They're actually not immune to anything.
That's yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to save my few spell slots I have left for spiking. That is it. I will continue to flank with Bill as well.
Okay, Bill, what'd you?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I got Brutus. I don't know what the Brutus's rolls are. Do you
I-
roll for Brutus?
I will. I'll have Brutus go last, just because I kind of forgot, but he would definitely be attacking. So,
Got it.
Whistler.
Okay. So not knowing if it was a one-time trap or a property of the book, I'm going to mage hand the book that turned Daco into a caterpillar towards the worm and open it.
Okay. I actually need to look up polymorph real quick because I think I had it make a con save before, but I think it's actually a wisdom save. Give me a second. Wisdom saving throw. Okay, that's actually better for you guys. That's wisdom saving throw, not a con save. So, weirdly, its form is kind of still the same shape. And you just hear all this weird pop as it becomes a giant caterpillar. He definitely gets smaller. It's looking very confused.
Well, this is a good time just to walk away or kill it. Which one?
Does
Are we
anyone
still
know?
in initiative?
We should still be initiative, right? It's going to go after
Yeah,
the.
we're still
And by the way, it
Yes,
did
sir.
eat it. It like went, and then
Oh, it
was,
ate the book?
yeah, it ate the book.
Okay.
So do we sense any hostility? Are we still in initiative? Or...
It's still hostile to you guys.
But yeah, as Storm said, should we kill it? Whistler is chattering and chittering and shaking his head.
Daco's gonna try and kill it if we're not still in initiative.
Well, we're still in initiative, so it's gonna be Brutus. Does anybody want to try to convince Brutus not to attack the caterpillar?
Nope.
I mean, I'm trying to.
If anything,
But
Daco will say
you're
press the
chittering.
Daco will be all about pressing
Okay,
the advantage.
I'm going to. Brutus looks really confused. We're going to skip Brutus's turn just because I am not going to determine whether or not this fails or not. It'll be Storm. Zashi, you just missed the the sandworm just turned into a giant caterpillar after it ate a book.
Okay.
It is now Storm's turn.
Ugh. How and so is there definitely ways to get around the worm now?
Oh yeah, you can just
Okay, yeah.
crawl on top of it and go.
Yeah, I'm just going to
It is significantly smaller.
leave.
I'm fuzzy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm just going to.
It is going to make an attack of opportunity as you try to crawl over it.
It's still that big.
Yeah, it's still 10 feet, so it's still a large.
I mean, wide, like.
No, because the hallway is 10 feet wide, it still gets an
Okay.
attack of opportunity against you.
Yeah,
It's
that's fine.
it's a caterpillar, so
What are caterpillars' attacks?
18 to hit.
That hits.
Should have smushed it.
You take 1 point of damage
Woohoo!
as a caterpillar bites into you.
Okay, yeah, and I'm just going to keep going.
It
Bill,
kind
I'd
of
like you
tickles
to
a bit.
Notice how little Storm complained when he got that paper cut.
Becca, did you give me my coffee mug?
No, I'm brewing the coffee right now. I'm going to bring it to you once it finishes brewing.
Okay, I was like, I thought you did. And
So I do want to ask, I do just want to clarify. So when I moved the book towards it, did the purple worm turn towards me and eat it?
it was
Or
already
was it
turned
like it
toward.
turned into a caterpillar and then ate it because that's what they eat.
It was already facing you because it was facing Bill, who's on your side. Remember, it made an attack against Bill.
Okay.
So, yeah, and then it saw the book coming at it. It opened its gullet, ate it, and then
okay.
and then
Oh, wow.
you heard a weird popping sound, and it turned into a caterpillar.
Cool. I was confused. I didn't realize it attacked after Bill crossed.
Yeah, it had, because Bill moved. It took its attack of opportunity, and then it was its turn, so it attacked again. So it took like 2 snaps at Bill. Both missed. Because I rolled like shit 2 times, even with a +9 to attack. So yeah, you guys have a caterpillar. So Storm, you cross. It bites you for 1 point of damage. Bill, it's your turn. There is a caterpillar in front of you. Everyone seems to be ignoring it now.
So I'm just going to try to make sure I keep its attention without attacking it. Just double check it something real quick.
Okay, yeah, it still seems kind of focused on you.
Okay. That's good. Then I'll just make a couple noises.
Okay, it's going to. It's now its turn. It will go ahead and make an attack.
It should have
14 to hit.
disadvantage.
Oh, with disadvantage. Yeah, 3 to hit. It's not used to its being scared and a caterpillar. And that would bring us then to Daco.
Dako's gonna try again with the unarmed strike and elemental strike.
Okay. That hits a
Oh.
caterpillar. You squish a caterpillar, and in its place is a giant sandworm. So technically, 7 points of damage continue on to the sandworm. And we bring to Zashi.
Is Storm still on top of it? Like, was he crossing it?
No,
when I did
Storm.
this? Now he's riding it.
Now there is, oh crap! Now there is a weird thing that happens though, because it was now at a different position. So now it's because it's. Sorry, I have to determine how this happens because it was just its head poking out and looking, and now it's because it had actually fully come out of the
His
cave.
whole body is in here now.
Yeah, so it takes some force damage. So gargantuan. From large to gargantuan is. Sorry, I'm trying to think of how much damage it actually ends up taking from this. Large to gargantuan. Okay.
It's your birthday, Terry. You can do what you want. You want to watch Dune today? You watch Dune today. You tell your family they have to sit there and
Okay,
watch
it takes
Hole
43 points of force damage as it just. And you actually see this tunnel. All the bricks are starting to crack. All of you guys get pushed about. You now are about the entire length of this thing, so 120 feet from each other, because you guys get pushed back on both sides of it. So Whistler, Storm, and Bill, you're at basically in its face, and Dako and Zashi and Brutus, you're at its butt.
Okay.
Also, everybody making perception checks.
Yeah, 100%.
Did he set off all the books?
Yes. Thank you very much.
Oh my god, again.
Let me go through this. So, necromancy, so it has to make a con save.
I've definitely perceived something.
Man, the order of operations here is crazy. Okay, does not take a shit ton of necrotic damage. You do see that book go off and like lancing across it, but it doesn't seem to take that much. But it still is a blight, so that's 8d8 halved. So it takes 16 points of damage from the necrotic damage. Now makes the wisdom save against being, or a charisma save against being transported to another plane. Disappears as it gets sucked into a book. That would just happen. The rest of this stuff you don't know what happens, but it does seem to be stuck in that book that Whistler and Zashi were, as it gets pulled into that book.
So Zashi's going to call out, well, that's one way to handle an encounter.
Was there, like, a
As for the
visual of it
perception
going into
checks,
the book?
you guys notice the damage to the tunnel you're in and dust falling down. This place is about to collapse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody into the book.
Zashi's going to start hoofing it after Whistler.
Yeah, Storm is already like turning around, just like trying to find his way out.
Oh, what, Bill? You look like you had a
Whistler
question.
is using Mage Hand to load as many books as he can back on the disc, while people catch up the 120 feet.
Yeah,
Dako
no.
trying to earthbend any falling stone away from people and reinforce weak looking areas.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, come to mind. I want to feed the worm to the phoenix.
Okay.
But
I
I'm saying
mean,
that's not a character. Obviously, I don't think Bill really cares or knows about it. But I want to.
okay.
It'd be
It's just
awesome.
something you really want to do.
You get the book, open it up, make sure it's freed, and then all of a sudden feed it, and then just watch it eat it.
Oh, this worm is not getting free of this book. With an intelligence of -5, it's an intelligence check to get out of the book.
But we know we can go in there and try to help it get out.
So before I forget, I need everybody. You all get. Let's see. There is. All of you get 2,000 experience points for that.
Yay!
Almost there.
Um, for feeding purple worm.
Oh, I just made level 6.
However, you can't level yet, so you guys are. I'm assuming gonna try to get out of here.
Yes.
Okay, so I need athletics checks from all of you.
Ugh.
I am still flying.
Okay, so Whistler, you don't need an athletics check.
I'm gonna grab us coffee. I'll be right back.
Okay. Oh God.
Oh God.
TPK.
This is where Storm dies, almost at level 6.
Almost at level 5, bruh. Almost at level
Okay,
5.
so it's not hard to get the 120 before it collapses, but you do notice. So Whistler and Bill, you're making pretty good time. Zashi, she's struggling to keep up.
I'm not.
What?
Well, I'm not making good time because I'm waiting while they catch up. While I'm getting books, trying to get as many of the books as I can back on the disc.
Okay, so you then start hearing a cracking as the stone above you starts collapsing. And then you start hearing a rushing, like water coming down through the ceiling. So, Daco, Storm, and I guess Whistler, there is a tidal wave of corrupted water flowing into this tunnel, and I mean, it's a tunnel, so it's taking up the entire thing. Zashi, you are a little bit ahead of it. Bill, you're fine. You're way ahead of it.
Okay. Well, once
Brutus
the water
is up with
starts,
Bill.
however many books I got, I'm gonna go. So
Yeah.
I think I fly at 60 feet.
Mm-hmm. So, Storm, Daco, you guys gonna do anything? Or does anyone do anything?
Yes, actually, I'm gonna hook up Storm here.
I'm
I'm gonna tell Storm to hold the fuck on, and then I am going to do
I was
this.
Oh, actually, no. I don't take off. I start to take off. Sorry, yeah. Do your thing.
Okay.
When everyone gets on my side of me,
Mhm.
I take out the peppermint stick and stop the water.
There you go.
I'm still rocketing.
I forgot I
Storm
had
ahead
that.
as far as
So,
thinking.
and I'm assuming you just stop this wall of water and it just freezes in place.
Well, actually, I think I can change the flow of the water.
Yeah, you can actually change the
I
flow.
just make it go the other direction.
Okay.
Oh, at least we had some ideas. I was about to cast Tiny Hut right in the center of the Stop it, to plug the hole.
Yeah, that takes a minute to cast.
Yeah,
So.
you have to wait a whole minute.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's a wall of water. How control water? I think lasts an hour. It lasts a bit. So.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I'm just, instead of having it move our direction in the tunnel, I'm having it move the other. I've got redirect flow. You cause flowing water in the area to move in a direction you choose, even if that water has to flow over obstacles, up walls, or an unlikely direction.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And it's 100
the
feet.
water. Ooh. Now here's the problem, though. As soon as I leave the area, it's gonna come.
Yeah.
It's okay. I can make a wall.
So I'm holding it. Well, yeah. Well, Daco
Maybe a series
makes
of
a wall.
Okay.
Maybe a series of walls.
Okay. So water changes flow, and then Chester seals up the tunnel so that it doesn't come this way.
Well, Daco did. Chester can't actually earthbend as hard as he keeps trying. Does not seem to be working.
How many charges does the wand have?
It's 2 charges per day.
Okay.
And it doesn't have a break. It's
Once the water's sealed away, Daco's gonna lean on the last wall and be like, "Y'all are very welcome." Solo that worm. Stop the water. Never leave home without an
out of
earthbender.
curiosity, Whistler, you got probably, I would say, half of the books that you had, but was the worm book, the tower book, part of one of the books you put on there, or is it?
Oh
no?
yeah. No, well, I don't know. I was just grabbing everything I can.
Okay, give me a 1d2. On a 1 you didn't, on a 2 you did. Nope. Okay. Yeah, okay.
Poof.
What do you guys want to do?
Not stay in this tunnel anymore.
Nope. Again, if there's any books that need to be collected in this area, collect them and then move forward.
Okay. It's pretty uneventful. All of you give me wisdom checks. Daco, Zashi, or wisdom saves. Daco, Zashi, and Whistler with advantage, please.
Whew. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Whistler and Zashi. So you notice Brutus, Daco, and Storm all freeze in place,
It just happened.
and then a bunch of rats that Whistler recognizes comes flooding into the chamber you're in.
Oof.
And starts moving their way to the Tensor's floating desk.
So right now, because Zashi doesn't remember them at all, she's going to walk forward, and she knows nothing about him, and suggestion only works on one thing at a time. But
It's one creature.
Yeah.
she doesn't know that. She's still going to try it because she sees them coming after the books. That
You're just aiming for one rat.
I will save it from at least one rat, and I am going to suggest they leave the books alone. I need them to do a wisdom save.
While she's doing that, I book it as fast as I can because I'm pretty sure I'm faster than them. And
Okay.
the tensor desk follows me.
Yeah. Okay. So they actually stop in place because they rolled a 1, and they're not using a legendary resistance for that. And you continue on. It's like, but you destroyed our home.
What are you talking about? What home?
Or the tunnels are our home. Do you know how many of us you just destroyed with that water?
Why am I hearing voices in my head?
After we
What,
did
if you
so
did a
much to
whole-
help you.
Say again? I don't know what you're talking about. If we destroyed your home, I'm very sorry. I mean, I'm sure we can help you rebuild a new one, but why are you running after us? Why are my companions suddenly frozen? And why can I hear you in my head?
It is It is it is our way. Apparently, you are too resistant at this point. Still, do not come back here. You have. We will give you passage, but if you come back here, we will destroy you.
But why? I'm sorry about the water thing. We were fighting a big worm that was trying to eat us.
And you had it defeated, and yet you chose to press the attack.
Well, some of my companions get a little bit hot-headed. Who are you?
We are the swarm. I would catch up with your companion. Once we leave, your friends will be safe, if a little confused.
Okay. Sorry about the tunnels. The swarm.
We will rebuild, as we always have. And they skitter off into wherever they came from. Daco, Brutus, Bill, and Storm. As far as you're aware, no time has passed. However,
Still
Whistler
just
is
moving.
gone, and Zashi seems to have teleported forward.
Mm-hmm. Once they seem to regain their senses, I'm going to point towards Whistler and yell at them, hurry up and catch up to him.
What?
You're pointing at nothing because Whistler did not stop. He kept going.
Yeah.
Okay. Daco takes off running looking for Whistler because that's what Zashi told him to do.
Okay. Otherwise, you guys are just headed back to town.
Yeah.
Okay. You
Yeah.
guys, without
Since I have
further
to roll
incident
now.
and no
Okay.
more saves, you guys make it there.
Those rats are lucky I don't know that happened.
They're lucky that you don't hold a grudge on things you don't know.
Yeah. Once I get within a mile of my mount, the psychic link is reestablished, and I'm going to ask them to bring the 2 kobolds to wherever it is we come out to come back to town.
Okay. You see 2 shiny kobolds meet you. Oh, you done with the rats?
Yes, we are very much so done with the rats at the moment.
Mm.
I don't know why you know about them,
What do you mean?
but that was
You guys left with the rats. They took you.
What are you talking about? There wasn't any rats when we first went down there.
Yes,
There's
there
rats?
was.
I think we would remember rats. Have you guys been
Well, no, there were rats later. I mean, when you guys all, well, never mind. Let's take the books to our
Books are at the tempo.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, because
But this time Whistler flies back without the books.
okay. Tucker, please give me a D100 check. Okay. There was some weird rumbling when you put the books back in the temple, but you can't really tell if it why.
They
Yeah.
going.
I'm sure I think it's the transcription.
Mm-hmm. So what's everybody want to do?
Start setting up our library, and then take a nice nap.
So I assume. So you guys want to take a long rest? Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, we're going back to build the library.
Okay. So so all the books are deposited. So when Whistler, when you get back, I'm assuming you just kind of like dropped the Tensor's disc and then went, or did you actually organize them?
Oh no, I just went in there. I didn't even like. I mean, I got it into the building, dropped the disc, and came back.
Okay.
They're like right in with all our followers, just in a pile.
Okay, so when you guys get back,
He probably did this for all the followers. Hopefully they listen.
okay, when you guys get back, a bookcase that you weren't even sure was there before is now up against the wall, and the books are actually very much organized in a case.
Now, here's the thing: is the pile still there plus these new books? Is the
No.
pile organized?
However, it looks like there's more books there than was in the pile.
Cool.
And one of the followers is like, I know you told us not to touch it. We didn't touch, but they just started kind of floating on their own. We didn't really want to interrupt it. That was weird.
I'm looking for the key book.
Taco's gonna make another bookshelf for the books that are not yet on the shelf.
The key book.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to remind me.
I don't know. You said that it copies everything.
Okay.
I'm looking for whatever copies. I want to read the stuff without setting off the traps.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, you get to the key book. It is significantly bigger now. In fact, it's not even one book now. It's like a encyclopedia looking thing. But yeah, there's a bunch of. It's a large set of books.
I'm both very happy and very disappointed when I realized that the two important books didn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
Yes, Bill.
What did make what? How'd you lose it?
Probably the big water.
Yes, Bill.
Yeah, so just making sure we don't know anything else really going on. I wanted to try to throw the role playing questions I was asking for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And you guys can do that. I'm gonna go use the head.
Okay, so basically for everybody, I had it in the docs. I believe Tucker was the only one that filled it out or / read it kind of thing. But basically, once we had downtime, everyone had a rest, and we were pressing right away. There, it's in the Google Docs post doc. But Bill would go individually and ask everybody the question. Ask what your position is in the group. So just pretty much going and asking everybody what their position is in the group, whatever and then figure that out for everybody. Then Bill would also ask if you think he's proven himself worthy to be a member of the group. If yes, what have you given him, whether material or not, to show that? And the other one was asking you individually, what's your goal for the group? And Bill lets you know that his goal is to make the group strong and well known, and his personal goal is to make his name / tribe well known. And then ask about your personal goal specifically, and if there's any way that Bill can help.
Okay. Well, so Zashi is going to let Bill know, well, I've been assigned as the leader of this group. You have not yet proven yourself as, while I did spare your life during the encounter, I believe you are going to make a you are going a long way in towards that path, and I believe a few more trials out with our adventures will bring you there. My goal for the group is for us to be a strong presence for Malys and for us to bolster our strength. My personal goal, she doesn't share with you. Not at this point.
Okay. At some point, by the way, in this conversation, you, Whistler, as night begins to fall, some weird things are starting to happen around your temple. Runes and various pillars start to appear. You feel this interesting surge of magical energy. It's not particularly strong, but all of you begin to feel as though, actually, Bill, you, with your eyesight, the entire temple is now radiating magic, but it's not a color that you're familiar with. It's not a school of magic. It seems to be all of the colors. And you've seen it happen with um, sometimes divine casters when they use like when they're talking to their deity. You're aware of this kind of feeling, and there's all of you at night are feeling like there's a presence watching you, even though there's no one there.
Daco pulls it off and makes like a stone tent around himself and goes back to sleep. Bunch of creepers looking at me while I'm trying to sleep.
I will say, as when morning comes, wherever you guys are sleeping, if you're in the temple, a meal has been prepared for you. Like it's on a tray and just waiting for you.
Zashi, when she wakes up, looks around to see if it was Tobra, since Tobra had cooked for people before. Not seeing her, she's still going to eat it, but she's
For
cautiously
Zashi,
looking around.
Chopra would be looking at whatever meal is in front of her and not eating it. And being very scared.
Yes, Bill.
Bill would eat it.
Okay, Bill.
question.
It's
Whistler is definitely eating it.
yeah.
Whatever it's
For Bill, it is succulent raw meat, like just slightly marbleized, just slightly past the normal age that a human would eat it. So it's really tender. For Whistler, it's a bunch of grains and various morsels of food. For Zashi, it's pretty much like eggs. So yeah, for each of you, it seems to be your like the preferred diet of your species.
Ribs for breakfast, all right. That's what you hear from Daco's room.
The temple itself is also significantly cleaner than you've seen it in a while, and pretty much all of your minions are also treated to meals, and you actually notice through the corner of your eye like things being picked up, like floating to their specific parts, places. It's like there's 100 unseen servants moving things around here. Yes, Bill.
Yeah, so basically, when things die down, Bill will let my ranger know about the worm.
Mm-hmm.
Figure out if he wants to actually go in there and try to tame the worm.
But he asks, "Where's the book at?" You were muted.
I just point in the general direction because I don't know. You'd have to ask Whistler. He knows more about books.
Whistler gets kind of sad and shrugs. And then kind of glares at Daco.
He does this. Next time you can fight the giant purple worm.
Zashi is kind of like watching the various things floating through the air as she's eating her eggs. And begins reading the two books she specifically has.
Do you
The
speak
manual-
Elven?
Say again?
Do you speak Elven?
Brutus was going to help Zashi translate it.
Okay, so the smut book. I mean, it's suitably smutty, but it's also like not so subtly like dismissive of anything that's not an elf.
Yeah. Once we realize that, Sashi's going to go ahead and put that one back on the shelf, and then start their pictures. But the fencing manual, she'll start going over.
Okay. It's
You also have that one I gave you, the one for athleticism or whatever.
Yeah, manual of quickness of action.
Yeah.
Sashi is focusing on that one before the fencing one.
okay. That takes 8 hours to read. So
And it has to be done within 6 days. I read over it.
Mhm.
So, yeah, starting on that
yeah, okay.
while I'm waiting for everyone else to finish their meals and figure out what we're doing today.
Bill will be eating anything that's left over.
There is actually quite a bit of leftovers. So, as Bill is scrounging for food, like it seems like more and more leftovers are appearing.
He's gonna get fat.
I don't think I've ever seen a fat knoll.
We're about to.
Challenge accepted.
If this is what we're doing, Dako's gonna go to work.
Okay.
Whistler's gonna look at those 6 spells and then realize they're kind of beyond him right now.
Okay.
And then he's gonna start actually studying. I'm pretty sure he would have had this one because I don't even think it was in the pile. I think he would have kept it on him. The book that he grabbed that was trapped that gave him comprehend languages.
Okay. Yeah. It's it's actually like the journal of a archaeologist essentially. And yeah, if you study that, I will say, it has any history check involving the old Elven Empire or anything involving the old ones, you'll have advantage on.
Okay. So yeah, he wants to read it, but then he also wants to actually study it. He's gonna try to reverse engineer the trap.
Okay. Give me an Arcana check for that.
Yeah.
Yes, Bill.
Comprehend language amulets for everybody.
Yes, Terry.
Yeah, the only thing I was going to think that Bill wants to do is probably talk to Brutus, go over strategies, things like that to keep people safe, and double check with Brutus to figure out what Brutus's fighting style is, / whatever. Because pretty much I'm just trying to do the mechanics wise to figure out if I need to change my weapons / my fighting style to help us a little bit better. Because if Brutus is going to go with certain weapons, I can try to get something that complements it a little bit more, so people are focusing on us instead of everybody else.
Okay. Brutus uses the 2-weapon fighting style, so he's
2 weapons.
yeah, he uses 2 weapons.
Okay, then I'll probably just go through and try to do this for mechanics wise to go shopping and try to get a shield if I can then.
Okay.
And then I'll change my fighting style a little bit after.
Okay.
You need some custom work done on that. You know a guy.
I could take a shield if you want to make one.
Well, I've already gone to work, so you'd have to catch up to me.
I don't know where you work.
Yes, you do. I'm the sheriff.
Yeah,
All the gnolls work for me.
Right, but I'm saying you work there, but I don't know. I don't think that you work there.
No, Bill does, because Daco had gotten put in as sheriff when your life was spared, and you were maintained as a deputy, along with the other gnolls that were working for Daco, as well as the kobolds, which are probably driving all the gnolls crazy.
Okay, then I'm probably late for work since I'm still eating and Frost already went to work. So I'll catch up to you, talk to you about that, and then maybe head to Kaylee's shop and try to get a shield.
Okay. Yeah, if you head to Kaylee's, Kaylee definitely has a shield. She does ask if you would like something. She has a standard shield, which is super cheap, 5 gold. But she has been thinking about making a. She'd gotten a shipment of flail snail shells in, and she was hoping to make a special kind of shield if you were interested in maybe some experiments with it.
Yes, definitely, and you can put it on the company budget. I believe this is work related. I need a receipt though.
I will send a bill to the sheriff.
Damn it.
I'll get it's a spell guard shield, but I will also it has one other effect that it only happens if you hit a natural 20 on your
Yeah, I
rolls.
guess I can bug you later for all the stats and everything.
Yeah. It's also like iridescent. Like the shield is very blingy. But yeah. So what's everybody else? Belt.
Yeah, so I was gonna say because I have before my Minotaur skulls that I have.
Mhm.
Can I give them to Kaylee to incorporate those two Minotaur skulls into the shield?
Sure. She'll happily inlay them. Brutus might not be too happy, but
I've been carrying them the whole time. Brutus hasn't said anything.
Okay.
I don't know if Brutus picked up on that.
I don't know. If he did
Brutus will
either.
now.
I feel like that's definitely something she's going to object to.
Well, to be fair, Minotaur skulls just kind of look like bull skulls, so there's not a huge difference. They're just smaller than a standard bull skull. Anyways, so yeah, so Bill is getting a shield. Daco is collecting. You get a bunch of reports from the kobolds. Like the kobolds swarm you as soon as they come as you come in,
That's
Daco.
their job.
Probably a
Mainly
full
taste reports.
stack of how
You give
people-
like name. It says like a name of one of the towns members, and then slightly spicy and like
Small violations of not shiny enough.
yeah.
My
If
my
you
reinforcements
failed
come
to
home
shine
not filled up
brass
fast
work.
enough.
It's tried to pay fee with not shiny enough coins.
I like
Yes,
that
Bill.
fine.
Terry, what's up?
Yeah, I also bring up to Sheriff
Mhm.
my report. That's the reason why I was late to work, and that's pretty much everything that happened on the adventure.
Taco snorts about that being why you're late and decides not to push it.
But yeah, there is a pile of paperwork on your desk there, Daco.
And this is why I sent to my queen for better skilled people for this job.
Oh yeah, it might have been.
You actually do notice a fairly dour-looking elf, looking annoyed in the corner. Actually, it wouldn't be in the corner. He's actually in the cell right now, but looking down. The cell isn't locked, but he's put the cell between him and the vast amounts of kobolds.
He needed some space.
Mhm.
I will go over to speak to this dour-looking elf, and I'll be like,
In Elven, he says, "Blessed be the blood throne, brother."
Taco's just like, oh, thank God. And he's just gonna go in and almost hug him, but not.
There is a lot of kobolds here.
Yeah, we needed manpower. It's a big city, and somehow I'm the sheriff now. Not really qualified for that work.
The queen sent me to aid you.
Yes. What kind of aid are you good at? Administration, I hope.
You are unclear. I am, but yes, I am. I am a trained scribe. I am also trained at, shall we say, more covert abilities.
Good, because you'll need those too. We'll see about getting you office built so you have a door to shut, and we'll work on a dissemination of information to you that makes you happy.
That would be preferable. It took me about 2 days to prove to these creatures that I wasn't you. They kept on trying to give me reports of how people tasted.
Oh God. And then Daco proceeds to make him a badge as well. It says, "They'll listen to you now," and he pins the badge on him.
it wasn't that they weren't listening to me. It's that they insisted on whatever is that shinies are. Everything had to be shiny.
Yeah, they've got a boss that's really into shiny stuff.
Oh, is that the that small girl that walks around here in the ridiculously non-seasonal dress?
Yep, she's not as small as you might think. And I'd advise not pissing her off per se, and make use of her assets for as long as we have them, because sure, they're getting some dumb information, but they're getting a lot of information.
Yes,
Somewhere in
it's
there's going to be things that are useful.
very well. So that's all you need of me is to sift through your paperwork and maybe handle things administratively here.
Um, as far as your official capacity that anyone here needs to know about, yes.
By
That's
the
your
way, we have been expecting a report. The gnolls are no longer a threat. However, Shar has been attacking our northern flanks.
Peachy. See if we can think up of anything for that one. Bring it up to some.
Dervis is currently, or General Dervis is currently on a fighting retreat. Last we heard,
Is she pushing this direction or towards home?
Shar, she's pushing outward. Fortunately, for a god of war, she seems unfocused.
Okay.
If she were to point her ire in any one direction, I'm not sure any of the armies would be able to resist her.
That sounds about right. Luckily, time is kind of on our side here. Bad
He
joke.
looks at
sorry.
you quizzically on that one. I do
Yeah.
not understand your jest. I feel like you are expecting laughter.
Yeah, it was a bad joke. Lots of time dilation craziness in this city. You'll learn the hard way. Sorry, it's
I
not
hope-
something you're going to believe until you walk into one.
Very well.
Any special orders coming my way with you?
Observe, report. Whatever you're doing seems to be disrupting some of our enemies, so keep up the good work, I suppose. They just wanted
Zashi's
you to be
really good at
aware.
that. She doesn't even know it half the time, but she's really good at that.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Oh, and when you hear stories later about how I one punch hit a giant purple worm this morning in a sewer and killed a bunch of people, it was awesome.
Is that what that weird earthquake was? I thought it was coming
Yeah.
from the temple.
Yeah. The legend of Daco shall grow. And he laughs at that too because he's not being serious at all.
Again, the elf looks completely like he seems confused.
That's good. Where would you like your office to be?
Somewhere far from them. He's kind of indicating the kobolds. Perhaps somewhere high up.
Up. Fantastic. Daco's gonna begin working out the plans for making a tower, while also letting him know that we can start stipending off funds for him to hire in between people so that he doesn't have to deal directly with the kobolds if he doesn't want to, or the gnolls.
Gnolls are fine. The kobolds are just so very squeaky.
Oh, grab your gnolls of preference and start putting them to work as far as anyone around here is concerned. It's the Zashi and I at the top, and then there's you.
Very well. Now, if you'll excuse me, it's been a long trip. I must meditate.
Uh-huh. And then Daco's literally going to make that tower his morning priority so that he also has a reason to tell the kobolds to leave him alone.
Okay. Terry?
Yeah, I was just looking at my inventory because we're in town and trying to get rid of a couple different things.
Mhm.
I noticed I still have a bunch of the Minotaur meat, like I talked about before. So can we do like, not so much you don't need to do anything, but I just want to make sure, like last time we came in, I sold meat / give it to whatever gnolls I could. Other than that,
Yeah.
just want to make sure that I get the other stuff
That's
to get out of
fine.
inventory.
They actually, I will say the gnolls are extreme. Like now, treat minotaur meat as like a delicacy because it's both beef and sapient creature, so that's like perfect for gnolls. Um, the but yeah, uh they're happy to take it. Anybody else have anything else they want to do?
I do.
Okay.
All right. So first thing Zashi does after morning routine is track down the kobolds that she had hired,
Mm-hmm.
and she wants to give them a secondary side job to spread amongst the kobolds. She wants them to pay attention to anybody like her, the Yuan-Ti, and report back on their whereabouts and what they are up to, since she knows there's a group of them in the area that have not made contact with her, so she kind of feels they probably are watching her.
You okay?
And then she is going to go track down Foxglove and then Resplendent. Foxglove to share the news about the library and some of the books now at our temple. But unfortunately, the smutty books she found are racist, so
Yep.
she's disappointed about that. And then to check on Resplendent and see how she's getting along.
Okay. Terry.
Yeah, so it's gonna bug Daco again because I know Daco's busy, but he wants to get them everyone else a little bit more busy stuff. To talk to him to talk about getting the gnolls and or the kobolds together to make training dummies or something like that, so we can do morning routine / training, so that there's a regiment, so that they constantly stay busy doing different things when he's not instructing them. So they only have a small window to come in and bring in reports, and then most of the time they're training and doing other things.
He gives you like the Chuck Norris thumbs up.
Okay. Back to Zashi. So as soon as you go to look for Foxglove, I'm assuming you're going to the Flower and Sickle. A familiar looking supposed Yanti comes up like, Zashi, my dear.
Ah, Monk, how nice to see you again.
Hi. It's been entirely too long. I'm sorry I had to go away for a little bit after that whole incident with Savra. Tell me, how is our lovely Storm doing? I made quite an investment on that little cat.
Storm was doing well, made it safely out of our last encounter.
Good. I'd hate to see something happen to him before he paid off his debt.
Yeah, debts must be paid. Nope, he's doing well, settling in, becoming a valued member, continued valued member, I should say. He's been kind of clutch multiple times.
Good.
So how are things here?
Oh, you know how business is. Ups and downs. We've lost a few personnel to other opportunities, gained a few more. It comes and goes.
Okay. Good to hear things are going well, though.
Less demand now, unfortunately.
Really? That's unfortunate.
Tourism, the influx of settlers has died down quite a bit. Few whispers of war on the winds.
Ah, yes. How is all of the whispers regarding that front? What are they? I've kind of been out of town for a day or two, so haven't heard the news.
The northern front is not going well. Incursions are being made from the armies, from Shar's various lycanthropes. And the Empire is still not mobilizing, leaving only the Blood Throne and our Yuan-Ti to keep us safe.
How are the Yuan-Ti doing? Are they needing some negotiation for backup, or are they holding their own for the moment?
Infighting is slowing them down.
Of course it is.
But on to happier news. You seem alive and well.
Yep. Definitely alive and well. Found a library. Slowly going through the books. It's all in Elven, unfortunately, so it's slow going for me. Brutus has been helping me translate.
Oh, of course. So, what can I do for you today? We just lost Chester.
We might have lost Chester. I was wondering. So I wanted to. Foxglove and I were starting kind of like a book trading thing since we both had similar interests. Unfortunately, the books I found, I don't think he's going to be all that interested in it. But I still wanted to offer him the chance to read through them.
Well, I would be quick. Foxglove is turned in his resignation not 24 hours ago. Wishes to. He has no desire to be here when the inevitable armies come.
Fair enough. Okay, I'll be quick, and maybe if he needs some help packing or whatnot, I can help him with that.
Of course, of course. Foxglove, and he calls, and you see the red furred knoll kind of come down. Yes. Oh, Sashi. Hello.
Hi, Foxglove.
Hi.
I
Can definitely
sorry.
tell he has like packs and stuff.
I'm sorry to hear you're heading out, but I do understand it. I wanted to give you a chance. I don't necessarily think you're going to be interested in any of these, but I did find these. They're from the old Elven Empire. They're smutty, but they're not to my taste. But I still wanted to give you the opportunity to.
He looks at them and is like, usually I don't like the older stuff. They have a limited perspective, but I do need something to keep my mind off of things while I travel.
Okay. Well, where are you going to be headed off to get out of the way of the
South, I think. I'll head to the south, find a ship, and maybe go to Akira. There's still opportunities there, I think. Far from the human kingdoms and Shar's nascent
All right.
armies.
Well, if you're up for it, I'll send you a message sometime letting you know how things are going here. I'd love to hear how you settle in Akira.
Of course, of course. You're more than welcome to come with me.
As tempting as that is, and it really truly is tempting, I think I'm going to have to continue here trying to get the Yonti to band together a little more.
I know, dear. I just felt like I had to ask. Still, thank you for the books. If you need anything, please don't hesitate to ask. I will keep my ears open. I will contact you if I hear anything.
Thank you.
Of course.
All right. Safe travels, Foxglove.
You as well, Sashi. And then he kind of goes back to packing up.
Mm-hmm.
And then you wanted to find Resplendent?
Yep. I want to make sure that she's...
Resplendent is pretty much nowhere to be found right now.
Okay.
Storm, you doing anything?
Storm is going to be trying to read that children's book on how to learn Elven.
Okay.
As well as he's also curious about, because he still has those spider eggs in his pack, and he's wondering when those are actually going to hatch.
Okay, give me a nature check for the spider eggs.
Look, there are no eggs, just shells.
Hmm. I'm just not
There are
rolling
no
good.
eggs, just shells.
It's just the clumps.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And are they in my pack someplace?
Yes. They are crawling all over your packs.
Awesome. I'm going to try to gather them up and put them in a a dish of some sort, container.
Okay, I'll get a nature check again from you. Yes, Terry.
I would say my ranger would help if he knew that he had anything to do with the eggs and creatures.
I
things
would
like
say
that.
there'd probably be a yelp from Storm when he realized that as he was looking at the eggs, like they were crawling all over him. So
Some
yeah,
revenge.
you get them into a container of some sort with the aid of the ranger.
All right, cool.
And what was the other thing you were doing?
I was reading that book.
Okay, yeah. It's gonna take you a bit. You know some key phrases, the equivalent of like "Donde está baño," and you know.
I try my hardest to learn the curse words as quickly as possible.
Okay. It's a children's book, so you notice a significant lack of curse words in the.
I try to put two and two together. Just make derogatory terms.
Okay. Let's see. That would bring us to Whistler. What are you doing?
Well, so I rolled that Arcana check. You didn't tell me what it meant.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm now blanking. What did I have you roll the Arcana check for?
Because he was trying to reverse engineer the comprehend language traps. It's pretty low, so I'm sure that.
Yeah,
can't
no,
happen.
you don't.
But does he at least figure out what happens when you don't make the intelligence save?
Yes. If you don't make the intelligence save, you basically get hit with a cursed comprehend language spell, which means you think you can read things, but like it's all inverted and wrong.
Great.
So yeah. It'd be like trying to read somebody's cipher, basically.
Okay. In that case, he wants to go buy a large wheel of cheese. Or steal a large wheel of cheese. Or somehow acquire a large wheel of cheese.
Oh, okay. I would say it's gonna be a gold if you want to buy it.
Yeah.
You have a when you say large wheel of cheese, how large are you looking at?
As big as he can get.
Okay. So you are going to go direct to you get a 50-pound wheel of cheese.
Awesome. How much did that cost me?
That would have cost you basically 7 gold.
Okay. Cool.
Why do you want a giant wheel of cheese? Just to have one?
No, he's got a plan for it.
Okay.
But he doesn't want to. I mean, he's got a lot to do. He's got a lot of studying and stuff to do. Did he figure out any tricks, at least with that book, to pass in that intelligence save, or is it just random every time you open it?
Oh, yeah. No, you actually with studying it no longer had to make the intelligence save. You know the proper way of activating it, so you don't start the trap.
Okay. Cool.
But you haven't reversed engineered it. It's gonna take a bit.
Okay.
And so does anyone else have anything to do?
Sashi is going to start designing out an amulet that she is making for Bill once she is comfortable with him in the party fully.
Okay.
So she is starting on it.
Okay. Sweet. Yeah. Okay, Terry.
Yeah, I was just saying I would just be pestering Storm and Daco to get answers on the questions I asked before. Other than that, I don't think there's anything going on.
I will say Daco. I'm gonna skip ahead a day, so all of you guys kind of are doing your thing. Daco, the next day you actually Azaris, the elf, you finally get his name from him. Azaris is like, Daco, real quick. I need to work. You're muted.
Still muted.
I'm working on it. Okay. Yes, Azaris. Doesn't sound like it's going to be quick.
We were hoping to maybe get some supplies. The Blood Throne is running out of money.
The Blood Throne is running out of money?
Yes. Our trade agreements with De La Vega have fallen through. You know how the Queen is, how temperamental she can be.
Yeah. Coin isn't exactly a lot around here.
We were hoping for more trade value items. We've heard that there's quite a bit of the reason the humans have decided to treat this as a gold mine, and we were hoping to maybe we could get involved in it a little bit.
I mean, I know the last person that was pretty big on trade had their place explode, so I'm pretty sure there's an opening. Could probably set you up somewhere if you have a plan for getting that actual foothold in. Property's the easiest thing to get here.
Yes, we were hoping for more. We have a contact in the Empire but they are requesting more, shall we say, esoteric items.
I mean, there's a really hard to find library, but there's like a force
would
field
do.
and lots of water. We'd need someone who can move water like I move earth, which in theory we've got people.
I mean, I have talents outside of just scribing.
There you go. Dako's gonna make a map in the earth for him and show him where that library is.
Mm-hmm.
And like he can make a 3D map if he has to show what he vaguely remembers of getting in and out of it. Describing the pitfalls of the water pressure and the force fields and the cave in with the worm that he, walled off.
Very well.
He doesn't know about other dangers down there because he doesn't remember.
I know.
I was like, you just like
Just
push
fed
him
him
to the rats.
Okay. And with that, I think we'll call it for today because there's not. And then whatever you guys want to explore, not next week because I will be in Vegas, but the following week.
That following week, I'll be up north visiting my